We are starting our next school year in exactly a week. So it is time to set up my homeschool planner for the school year. It's actually been time, but I don't. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Janet. I am a stay-at-home homeschooling mom of 3 boys, 2 of which are of school age. They will be starting 4th and 1st grade, and this will be our 5th year homeschooling. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you how I set up my homeschool planner to help me throughout the whole entire year. While trying to edit that video, I realized that I still had so much more to share and explain and tell you guys. So here I am. So a little bit about my planner before I get into it. This is my own planner. I do have it available for digital purchase over on Etsy, and it is very similar to the one from last school year. The only 3 differences from this one and last year's is obviously the cover. Last year's it was more of like a floral watercolor cover, and then that design spilled over onto the calendar grid. And as you can see, this planner has like nothing on there. I wanted to have full creative freedom when planning for the month. I added these year at a glance pages where I can add a little more detail. If it's a day off, if it's a holiday, if it's somebody's birthday, if it's a trip, any time off, like I can actually fill in what's going on that day. The last major difference is my weekly layout. This is the new weekly layout for this school year. I'm so excited because it is so versatile. You can use it vertical, horizontal, perfect for multiple kids. Those are the biggest differences. And now I'm going to tell you a little bit more of how I plan as I share some of the pages in here. I start off by deciding on when I want to start and end our school year. Now, this doesn't have to be super complicated. You can literally just go on your district website and follow their school calendar, when they start, when they take their winter breaks, and when is their last school day. I personally like to start the first couple of weeks of August. So I decide on my first day, and then I go ahead and fill in everything that I already know, like on the top of my head. Any holidays that I want to take off, any trips that we're going to have, I add those all on there. Any family visiting, I add those all in here now. And starting off with my first day, I go on and count 180 days. That's usually the length of a regular school year, about 36 weeks. I somehow ended up with 38 because I do have some weeks where we are doing like half a week. My husband has most Fridays off, so I wanted to give myself some wiggle room around those Fridays. So in case we wanted to spend the whole day with him, we can do that without sacrificing too much our like plans. So starting with the first day, I go on and count 180 days, obviously skipping any holidays that I want to take off, any vacation that we're going to be having, any time off that we're taking, and then a lot of Fridays were skipped also. That's how I end up with my last day of school. Then I go ahead and list out all the curriculum that we are going to be using. I have one specifically for my 4th grader and one for my 1st grader. Anything and everything that we use will go in here, and I will go ahead and clarify a little more if we use it during first semester or second semester. I also have this year at a glance. This layout serves more like a brain dump where I can go ahead and jot down if there's any unit studies that I want to do on specific holidays or major events like election day. So we have a whole unit on elections and how it works and all of that. So I will write this down, and if anything else pops up, I will go ahead and fill it in, like what month I would like to get this done. This is where it gets really specific. In these year at a glance pages, I can go ahead and map out our whole year. Starting off with the dates, here I go ahead and list the dates for each week. We're starting off on August 7th. Week 2 will be August 12th to August 18th, and just go down the list, filling in the dates. Then I am able to add everything that I added in my previous one, like brain dump for each holiday and like little things like that, like extra unit studies that are not part of like our box curriculum that I purchased for the school year. I go in and add them to when I want to get these done. For example, again, the elections unit, I want to get it done sometime in the middle of October. So I'm giving us 2 weeks to get that done. So I'm filling that in the history column. I also go ahead and highlight when we are going to be taking breaks, so I know when these breaks are happening. Then I grab all of our curriculum and really just copy the scope and sequence. Most box curriculum will come with like a table of contents and a suggested like breakup of the lessons. And that is exactly what goes on here. Now, I did consider my EC start. I didn't just start like right on week one. Like we have 3 days in week one. I'm not adding a whole bunch of like everything. We're doing everything these 3 days, kind of staggering the start for the subjects. Also considering like the way that I can break these up. Not every subject has 36 weeks worth of lessons. Spelling has 30 lessons. Fix-it grammar has 30 lessons. So I do have some wiggle room with some of those subjects where we can kind of start it later, not everything just like all at once on the first day. Then is our lesson tracker. Now, those big weekly lessons, I just break them up in here. I add the subject and then I list out the lessons. There is 30 lessons in our spelling curriculum. So I am going to go ahead and check them off as we go. Each lesson takes about a week. Fix It grammar, also the same thing. It's 1 page a day, but it adds up to 30 weeks. This lesson tracker really helps avoid neglect any subjects and just simply be able to tell exactly where we're at with each subject without having to bring everything out. I am checking off as we go, so I know exactly where we're at with each subject. The monthly grid is pretty straightforward. I just numbered the days.
And then I prep my attendance sheet by just marking off the weekend, the weekend days, so it is easy to track throughout the year. And I do have one separate sheet for each student. And for the weekly spreads, I just prep the one that I am planning for. I just start off by labeling the days. We do school Monday through Friday, but I did leave them blank because I know a lot of families start their school week on a different day. On the bottom right, there's like a section for to-do list. Now it is blank, so you can label it whatever you want. It can be your grocery list, it can be your meal plan, it can be whatever you want. It does have check boxes though. And then I just go ahead and label each row. I am going to be using it horizontal. Now I'm going to use this column here, this column of boxes to label each row. So this top row is going to be this week, like anything important going on that week, any appointments, anything we need, anywhere we need to be, any sporting events, birthdays, all of that is going to go on the top row. And then I have one row for each child and then another row for group subjects. And then this last row, this week I'm using it as meal prep, but you can use it, I don't know, for whatever you want. If you have other kids, then you can add another child's name in there. It is very versatile. You can use it however you want. And then I am also going to be tracking, like listing out their subjects, their to dos, using little check boxes.
There's just so many ways that you can use this. That is how I set up my planner, how I fill it in, how I use it, all of the things. If you still have any questions, go ahead and leave them down below for me and I will get to them. That is it for today's video. Don't forget to check out the planner, like, and subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one.